Well, stop me if you've heard this one before. A controversial call at the end of a Lions game. Yeah, a story that's been told all too many times for the Detroit Lions. Although I actually think this one is a lot more complex than people are talking about. Here's why. So it's a 3rd down and 2 right here. That's obviously important, just given the nature of the game. This is in overtime, but it's the first drive, so the Seahawks need a touchdown to win. And as you see, well, Geno takes the snap, and I mean, you're going to see this, looks to be in a great situation, right? Hutchinson right towards Geno Smith, about to generate a pressure, probably get a sack here, force the Seahawks to kick a field goal. The way these offenses are playing, totally possible that the Lions could end up marching down the field and getting a touch. But as you see, it appears to be a hold right there. Geno Smith throws it to Tyler Lockett. They get the touchdown. Well, let's use another angle. Let's see what actually happened. And first, let's just remember what the actual rule is. I think we all know the basics of it, but let's just go over it again. This is how a hold is defined in the rule book. Uses his hands or arms to materially restrict or alter the defender's path or angle of pursuit. It is a foul regardless of whether the blocker's hands are inside or outside the frame of the defender's body. Material restrictions include, but are not limited to, grabbing or tackling an opponent, hooking, jerking, twisting, or turning him, or pulling him to the ground. And I think, I do believe that this was clearly a restriction, a materially restricted play. I think that that's absolutely what happened. But that's not where the discussion for me comes in. Because watch how when this play begins, you see how Hutchinson puts his right arm underneath the tackle's right arm. Right? There is an exception to the holding rule. If, during a defensive charge, a defender player uses a rip technique that puts an offensive player in a position that would normally be holding, unless and until the defender's feet are taken away from him by the blocker's action. That means that's when it's not a holding penalty. That's what that is referring to. To me, this is a rip move. So, okay, so then not a holding. This was the correct call. Good job, refs. Well, again, it's more complex than that. Because at this point, if you have been put in this position due to the move, then it's reasonable to hold at that point. Because, it's kind of one of the situations where, as an offensive lineman, you're only in this spot because of the move. Is that what happened here with Hutchinson? I think you could argue both sides. Because whether or not that was a rip move, I don't know if that actually changed that much of why they're in this position right here. So when Hutchinson goes through, I see why it wasn't called because of the move. I totally do. I don't know if I would have called that a penalty or not. I think that's actually really close, and I can kind of see both sides of it. So that's why it wasn't called. But what do you think? Do you think it should have been called or not? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.